Time for the spotlight. Welcome to the spotlight with Herbert Dennard. Welcome to the spotlight. Middle Georgia spotlight. Yeah.
Good day and welcome to Middle Georgia Spotlight. I'm Herbert Dennard, and I have with me my friend Miriam. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good to be here with you
You
today.
kind of frowned up when I said friend. But your father and I was on the Water Authority for at least 15 years, and we served together.
Yes.
I was on there before your father was elected. And when your father was running, Javis Lucas, I did not know, I didn't think he was going to win because I was serving with Booker Chambers. And he surprised me and won. And we worked together for a long, long time.
Yeah. My dad was a tremendous public servant,
Yes.
and he handed that mission down to me. And I'm very proud of the work that he did as a Water Authority Commissioner, and also very, very honored to have had him hand the mantle down to me. So
Yeah,
and my dad was a great guy.
And his mother handed it down to him. His mother was a civil rights giant.
Yes.
And Macon, what do you remember about your grandmother?
Oh, my grandmom lived to be 101. So I knew my grandmother of course, as a child, we used to go to her home over in Pleasant Hill. As a matter of fact, when I came home from the hospital, that's where I came, to Pleasant Hill. So I often tell people I was born in Pleasant Hill and raised in Unionville. I have tremendous roots here in Macon.
I was.
But about my grandmother, though, let me say this real
Tell me
quick.
something about her.
I remember my grandmother being on the front lines. And,
She was on the front
a
line.
lot of times women don't get the recognition, right? It's always the men that were out there on the front line and like that, and the women are, back behind the scenes really making the engine turn. And my grandmother Emma Lucas was one of those people that was very instrumental in the bus boycotts, getting people to the polls.
She was there.
She was on the front lines, absolutely.
She was there all the time.
Yes.
And, but I was looking through Facebook and I ran into a person there that was campaigning. Sweat was coming from her brow. And she was going up the street and she had like the whole world was fighting against her. And she was fighting and she did not give up. She didn't take a back step. And that person was Miriam Parrish. When I saw that, I said, I know she has some tough times. Seemed like, I know the mayor was against you.
Yes, the mayor, of course, wants a third term like Trump does. And, we just, as a delegation, majority of the delegation, the House delegation, we just don't see the necessity in changing the charter just because one person asked for it. And I think that's legitimate. Once you start cherry picking a document that is as important as the charter is to the county, you just open up a Pandora's box for a lot of other things to happen. And it can have a domino effect. This government that we've started, this consolidated government, is only about, 2014 was when we implemented, so about 12 years old now. So it's having its time, but as a matter of fact, we're one of the most successful consolidated governments in the country.
So when you came out, did he come before the delegation and wanted a third term?
Well, no. They passed, the commission passed a resolution asking for it, but the mayor, of course, did have some private conversations with pretty much each one of us about, his desire to have a third term. But, most of the executive positions, they are two-term positions. The president serves 2 terms. The governor serves 2 terms. The mayors typically serve 2 terms unless there's a tremendous hole in that community, a vacuum that there's no more leadership to look to, where you've got a very old population or a very young population, there's a vacuum there. But Macon County does not have that. We have leadership Macon here. We've got all kinds of people that would probably run for the mayor's seat should the seat become open.
So I guess when he decided to, and he got wind that you didn't support him, because it seemed like he was supporting somebody else.
Well, yes, I think it's pretty much common knowledge now that he went and recruited someone to run against me. And, it is what it is, though. People can run for office, and that's what makes our democracy great.
I was nervous. I was nervous for you.
I was a little nervous myself because I knew I had the office of the mayor's office behind my candidate. But here's where the rub is. Like we started off, my dad was a tremendous public servant.
Absolutely.
He handed that down to me. I watched my dad serve his constituents. I don't take it for granted. So it was a collaboration there. It was me working for the people, and when it was time for the people to reward me for the work that I've done, they came through for me, and I'm very grateful for that.
They came through. I mean, they was there.
Yeah.
I looked at it, I said, true grit. You was working. I mean, you was fighting, and you was campaigning. And you and I had a conversation once, and you said you had the feeling that I wasn't supporting you because Elaine Lucas wasn't supporting you, and you assumed that since Elaine and I are friends, and Elaine and I are close friends, but I still think for myself, and I still support who you are. And one of the main reasons, your dad and your grandmother, I didn't know you that well, but I knew your dad. When he served with me on the Macon Water Authority, we went over issues, and I would discuss it with him. He said, "You believe in it?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I'm with you." And he never turned his back on me on the time we served together. And your grandmother, what a giant she was. She was like the mother of the civil rights movement that you're making. She was up at the top of echelon there. And so I'd say if you need help, you need support, I'm supporting you. My friends, I could have several friends who support somebody else. Mm-hmm. That don't bother me. I still vote for Miriam Parrish because I know your dad and I knew your grandmother, and they was fabulous folks. So I said some of that have to rub off on you.
Well, I think I have a track record of my own at this point.
Right.
I've been serving since 2006. That's 20 years.
I remember the first time you ran for office for city council. Mm-hmm. And it was several people in the race there, and I didn't think you was going to win. But you know what? You won.
Yes.
Next thing I know, you're president of the city council. You won again. Then you ran against David Lucas, mm-hmm. and you won there. And he, in the rematch, he won. And then you ran for, I think it was somebody's vacant seat.
For the House.
For the House.
Yes.
And you won, and you've been a winner.
Well, it's like I said, it's been not just me and, not any great thing that I've been doing. It's a collaboration. It's the people rewarding me, for the service that I provide. I try to be accessible. That's one thing. I may not be at every event that happens in the city or in town, but I'm just really a phone call away. Most people have my number. I sell real estate, so my number is out there. And when people call me, if I can help, I'm going to do what I can to make sure that they know they can trust their public servants. That's what's missing today. People don't feel like they can trust politicians. They don't feel like they can trust policymakers to do what they say they're going to do. And if those of us that are in position, if we will just do a little bit better, I think we can restore public trust, and that's one of my commitments.
And I worked with your sister at the tax assessors board,
Yes.
and I knew your brother. So, but you still had doubts.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm trying not to really comment on what you're saying, but the Bible says no man can serve two masters.
I have no master.
It's hard to be.
I could be friends with what you might, someone might consider your enemy, but I could be friends with two people that have two different political views.
We don't have two different political views.
I have different views.
It would be fine that if it boiled down to that. If it boiled down to something that people could understand, then that would be understandable. But it doesn't boil down to that. This has been an ongoing situation ever since I stepped on City Hall's floor. So, I seriously didn't come to talk to you about
I know you
that
didn't,
today.
but what I'm saying is this.
Yes.
You could be my friend, and she could be my friend.
I clearly
I know
understand that.
you understand that.
There's very much situations of my own where I know people that don't get along, and I don't have to side with either one of them.
Right.
I can stay neutral and still be cordial with both of them, despite their differences.
And especially, my hats especially go out to your dad.
Well, my mother was really another case there where there was a very, they say behind every good man there's an even greater woman.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was very instrumental in who my dad was.
Mm-hmm.
My dad leaned on my mom for a lot of her intellect and her grace. My mom was not the type to be arguing with people in public and just going after things, but my mom was someone that tried to help those in need as much as she could. In her later life she became a nurse and really did what she could to help the homeless and people that were not well.
Your dad had spoken of her often, and I'm gonna tell you this last funny story.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad, Albert Billingsley, and I was at a conference. I don't know, might have been New Orleans or something, and he brought you guys, but I didn't know it. And Albert and I was sitting there talking, and a pretty woman walked by us. Albert said, "Did you see that woman?" I said, "Yeah, that's a good-looking woman." Your dad jumped up and said, "That's my daughter, Miriam." And we got a big laugh off of it. I said, "James, the other day you was doing some of the same kind of stuff." So we just said, "I'm married. Albert was married." We just said this was a pretty woman,
Right.
and it was
no
you.
harm.
It
no
was
harm.
but your dad took offense. And we laughed about it.
Yeah, it was California. That was I
Yeah,
think we were right in California when that
Right.
happened.
Thanks for stopping by.
Sure, my
And
pleasure.
congratulations on your victory.
Thank you, sir. Thank
And
you.
I wish you the best.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Dennard. It was nice being here with you today.
And we will see you next week at the same time. Take care.